But when the consistency started happening, I felt it immediately. I would 100% recommend you to other artists and influencers and thought leaders. What's up? My name is Dante Basco, actor, producer, writer, director, poet, um, podcaster.
Off the 30 shorts I made you, how many views did we get?
So how many views we got after the first 30 edits? Over 20 million, 21 million, which is phenomenal, Kevin. Phenomenal. I am pretty blown away. That's great work. That's great work on you. That's a lot, man. I it's all these numbers are astronomical to me. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of cool. I mean, virality is very interesting and it's cool, but it's also a little nerve wracking because you're like a lot more people are like looking at what you're saying and your ideas and points of view and whatnot. But sometimes you gotta stand on business, right? Sometimes you gotta stand on business.
Did you think off like 30 shorts we were gonna get 21 million views?
No, no. You reached out and you said you do this. Of course, I've seen other edits. I watch a lot of um, things online, like everybody these days. Uh, a matter of fact, you said some names that I was like, oh, I've seen their stuff on TikTok, so I've probably seen this guy's work. And then you sent me uh, your work, which like off just GP, and that impressed me because I was like, okay, this dude's already doing work, not getting paid for it, just kind of showing what he can do. And that initial video, I was like, oh, that looks cool. That's something that was something that I would probably stop and watch if I was scrolling. Not me, just like, oh, what's this dude talking about? So on the strength of that, I was just like, let's just try it out, man. Plus, we met, we talked, and I was like, this guy's not a weirdo. He's not some old crazy person that I'm trying to let into my world. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of made you decide to start working with me right away?
Like I said, I think the work speaks for itself, and then you're very professional, even though you're a young cat. The way you kind of handled yourself in our initial interview, and even the way you initially reached out to me, it was not a bot. The thing about it is like I get tons of emails every day. Half of them, more than half of them, feel like some kind of bot or some kind of form email that's just like change the name. Exactly. Even though they're trying to sound Mr. Dante Basco, we are so big fans of. What I'm saying? Like it's like this is a form email, and so it didn't feel like that. Felt like a real person, and yeah. And then again, like showing like off the strength, like this is what we do means you already put some work into what you're trying to pitch me. So that was already impressive. And then, of course, the work was good. So I was like, okay, that was good. And then just kind of following up when we actually met and was like, okay, this dude is professional in the way he's setting up meetings, the way he's, on time, and he's about the business. He's not kind of, it's not like a fanboy. And there's also vibe and like, I get it. I understand this. I kind of feel like I got who this person is, and I kind of feel who the people he's talking to. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Mm.
kind of tapped into that.
How would you describe the actual experience working with me?
I describe working with you has been great. I think you are more, possibly more professional and on it than me for sure. Uh, but it's great. It's your business, and it's something that you're on. I feel like you're a serious person. I try to get my stuff together for you, or try to be better a communicator for you because you seem so on it, but without being overly pushy or without being. I think you understand. This is even though this is your business, this is just a very small part of my business. But the results make me take it more seriously. And then your professionalism. You know, I try to be a little more timely sometimes. A lot of us, our worlds are busy. I'm traveling constantly, but you're consistent and you can nudge me in the right way. So I think working with you has been very comfortable and cool, and it's helped me also step up my game on my side as far as communicating and taking my social media a little more seriously.
How was the communication between me and you throughout the process? Like, how much would you rate it? Maybe like 1 out of 10.
I think for me it's at least a 9, and the negative one is probably on me because like I'm not the I am a decent communicator, but like I said, I'd like I've backed up. I mean, you had to get, we have the Slack, which is cool, which sometimes the Slack I see, don't see. If you don't see that, you text me, which is great. So the communication has been there and has been good. Look, I don't know. Honestly, right now I got unread messages. Unread. I got 2,793 unread text messages. My wife's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, I got 720 WhatsApps that are, you know what I'm saying? It just gets overwhelming sometimes with, I don't even want to go into emails.
After we posted like the first few videos, did you notice anything different with your engagement or like your fan interactions?
Yeah, I noticed a lot more views and a lot more comments and interactions. And at first I kind of, you jump in like when you first get into, I think when you first done anything viral years ago, gotten on YouTube or whatever. But it gets a little scary because with the more engagement, the more comments back, the more you can get lost in the weeds. And as an artist, we get very sensitive about our whatever. And
Yeah.
it's even more sensitive sometimes with social media because I can kind of be very disconnected to the film because you're doing a character and you're working for someone else's vision and piece.
Mm,
Sometimes when you're just like talking and some of these videos are just dropping pieces of your life or pieces of your points of view. I've looked at the comments and some of the things I've said touched people or made people think or gave
mm.
someone a different perspective on you know, the Asian experience in America or, the neighborhoods that I grew up in. So like it's like, oh, so yeah, it's cool to kind of just to be a part of the conversation or spark conversation also.
All right, for someone that's considering, working with me, but is a little bit hesitant because of the price, or they don't think, short form content is really valuable, what would you kind of say to them?
I think if you want to take your content seriously and you want to really reach out and do the most you can, I think someone like, working with you, a company like yours is very important because it takes it to the next level as far as consistency and more people's eyes on you. It's not. I'm not talking about social media. People's eyes on you. More people within your a business. When people get bigger, they have teams and companies, and yeah, you can lead because you're the focus of you. But when you become a business, you're
Hmm.
gonna need other people's eyes on you to have and look at you as a business and what you're doing in a subjective way and go, okay, this is what we think it is, and having other people's minds, especially people with good minds, brilliant minds, looking at you and what you're doing, and to help scale who you are, what your thoughts are. Sometimes other people see you in a way that you can't see yourself because of ego and or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're all just people. So it's very hard to look at ourselves subjectively. It's great to have people on the team that can actually look at you, edit stuff, take notes. This is great what you say. And no one's going to be like, what, when I said this is when, if we're thinking about everything we're saying like that, it's like we're going to be, you're not going to be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because no one needs to think of themselves that much. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's great to have a team. With you come with a team. I think if you're on the fence about it, I think you should try it. I think you need to, you need to let go sometimes too. Some people are so, you know, trying to hold their things so tight, and we've all been there because we're all scared of anything,
Yeah.
clapback things and that.
Yeah.
But it's also, even if you don't do it forever, it's also interesting in a short interim to try it out because it's very fascinating to see someone else's take on you. Like it or not, this is how other people are seeing the things you're putting out there. If you don't like what's going out there, you got to really look at what you're saying and what your brand is and what's been out there so far because when you bring a team in, they are a part of the audience. They're not just helping to. They are helping to shape it, and they're helping to disseminate what we want to disseminate. But they are part of the audience that are seeing what you're putting out there. So I think it's a very effective tool to see who you are, what you're doing, and then also if it's working. If it's working, you can see what's working and why, and try to cultivate that more.
So would you say like my services is something you would recommend to others?
I would 100% recommend you to other artists and influencers and thought leaders. Again, but I would say that with the caveat of it's like if it's someone you vibe with, because you got to work with people who
Hmm.
you think get you. I think it's a relationship. Instantaneously from your email, it's like I kind of feel this dude, like this is a real person. And then when we talked, and you kind of form a business relationship, but there's a relationship, and you feel like this person gets me on some level, and hopefully you get them on some level. Then you work together. I wouldn't recommend working with someone that you don't like or don't feel like gets you. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
just going to be bad. But if I do recommend just on the strength of the professionalism and the work, 100%. The work is speaks for itself.
How quickly did you see results after we started posting like the first few videos?
Instantly, I think first video, second video, right? I don't know. It jumped off quick. It jumped off quick, which is very cool. And again, it's also great because a lot of, if you're like me and you're at a certain place in your career and life, not just career, life, where you don't have the bandwidth to do all that. You see it online, you see all these people, and you're trying to do as much work as you can, but just like part of the bandwidth is scaling. And even with you and I was very hard, like, they're drilling something. You hear that? They're drilling something. So even with you and I, like trying to get on Instagram to post, I was like, I could post, like just send me the videos, and
Yeah.
it's hard. We're just, it's a full-time job, and a lot of us have other jobs that
Hmm.
the media side is supporting, and it just makes sense to have someone to help run that social media side. Even just posting on the different platforms consistently, it's it's hard for us to put that into our life. But when the consistency started happening, definitely I felt it immediately. Of course, I'm also at Comic Cons all over the country. So as soon as people are on the line, they're talking about the TikTok, they're talking about Instagram, they're talking about that video, they're talking about what you said on this, and so it's really, I kind of felt the I've kind of felt the impact immediately.
If you could describe the outcome of working with me in one word, just one word, what would it be?
The outcome of working with you in one word,
Yeah.
uh, bountiful. It just means like there's an abundance of something happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
talking 21 million new views, but just having all that within, millions of views at one time is abundance. And it's really, yeah, but I think abundance is the word. Abundance. Abundanza. Because I think that's what we want, right? As artists, whether we're doing a movie or you're doing a you want it to get out to as many people as possible. And sometimes you don't feel you have that. You can get that. So when you see that happening, you're like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Uh, where it goes from here, I don't know, but I think if when you put yourself out there, you hope that you can get it out to some of the people that need to hear or see these things, whether it's a movie, whether it's a message, whether it's just a thought, abundance that is out there, and people can find it, and they hopefully gets to the right people, sparks the right
Yeah.
conversation.
Do you think your business opportunities and financial opportunities increased since we got like 21 million views?
Yes, I think so, but I have to implement what I want to promote. I have things coming out, new book. Even
Hmm.
without promoting like my matcha tea, there's so many people have reached out, not just to buy it individually, but also some new restaurants and cafes that are like reaching out to like hold the tea.